Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. We've got something incredibly powerful to unpack today. We're diving deep into an amazing primary source, the very first issue of a newsletter called Still Standing, written by Dr. Bruce Kaplan. And let's just jump right in, because the opening scene Dr. Kaplan describes to his readers is absolutely gripping. Imagine being a perfectly capable, highly educated young guy in the prime of your life, but you're completely terrified, caught up in this visceral, dramatic balancing act. He wrote, "I was sitting on a fence. On one side was sanity. On the other side was insanity, and I wasn't sure which way I was going to fall." Now get this. He wasn't dreaming. He was completely wide awake. At the time, he was a clinically trained dentist in his late 20s. He was deeply in love with his fiancée. He was doing everything by the book. Yet there he was, awake and hallucinating, feeling like he was literally losing his mind as a direct result of his MS treatments. Section 1. Trusting the medical system. To understand how he ended up on that terrifying fence, we really have to rewind a bit. Dr. Kaplan's early experience was defined by relapsing, remitting MS. It is, as the source text outlines, a perfect storm. It's an emotional roller coaster. You get these symptoms, and then they resolve. It's a cruel reprieve because it tricks you. It gives you just enough of a break to make you doubt your own reality. Just long enough to hope it was absolutely nothing. But then, inevitably, it comes back. For him, the progression was kind of a slow burn at first. His very first symptoms popped up when he was just a junior in dental school. Then, 6 whole years go by. By the time it comes back and he gets officially diagnosed, he's already a practicing dentist. And then shortly after that, in his late 20s, he hits this terrifying steroid crisis. Now, being a dentist and the son of a urologist, medicine was basically the water he swam in. So when he was diagnosed, he instinctively trusted the system. He trusted the science. Section 2. Sitting on the fence. You gotta put yourself in the medical reality of the late 1970s and 80s for a second. The modern disease-modifying drugs we know today, they simply did not exist. Corticosteroids were literally the only treatment available for MS inflammation. Dr. Kaplan's father, who was a trained MD himself, desperately wanted to help his son, so he volunteered to give him these intramuscular steroid injections right there in his own office. It was all they had. It was the accepted, right path to take. But here's the wild part. Doing everything right medically led into a total nightmare. Those prescribed steroid injections triggered an entirely different crisis. They actually induced minor hallucinations while he was fully awake. Think about that. The very treatments meant to save his physical body were pushing his clinically trained mind over the edge. This was the metaphorical fence he found himself sitting on, that razor-thin line between sanity and insanity, brought on by the only cure available at the time. Section 3. An unexpected alternative. So when the system you've devoted your life to pushes you right to the brink, what do? Well, you look elsewhere. Enter an entirely different kind of doctor. Dr. Kaplan's fiancée, who, by the way, has now been his wife for 38 years, worked in the music industry. And through her connections, she heard about an Indian-born MD with homeopathic training. This guy operated out of a Beverly Hills hotel suite and only visited LA 4 times a year. Now, Dr. Kaplan totally admits he used to mock this exact kind of alternative medicine. He had that arrogance of a conventionally trained clinician who never actually needed an alternative. But stuck in that precarious spot on the fence, his fiancée convinced him to just go. And talk about perfect timing. That doctor happened to be in Los Angeles that exact week. Within hours, Dr. Kaplan is sitting in this hotel suite for a 3-hour appointment. And right from the jump, he felt comfortable, he felt relaxed, and most importantly, he felt truly heard. He was introduced to a rapid-fire flurry of new modalities: homeopathy, acupuncture, abdominal breathing, vitamin infusions, a neti pot nasal rinse. It was just a completely different universe of care. And the result? You can almost feel the immense hallucination-inducing pressure just lifting off his shoulders. He says, "The crisis receded, my mind cleared, the fence disappeared." It's such a profound sigh of relief. Walking out of that Beverly Hills suite, Dr. Kaplan literally felt like a new man. Section 4. A shift to wellness. That single appointment was a total game changer. It sparked a massive 180-degree paradigm shift for him. On one side, you have the Western medicine he was trained in, right? It offered symptom management and disease-slowing strategies, but that ultimately built the very fence he was trapped on. On the other side, this new integrative approach offered actual nervous system support and a path toward truly living well. It was this stark contrast between harsh, scary limitations and holistic possibilities. Now, this is absolutely crucial. Dr. Kaplan is so deeply empathetic when he looks back on this. He is incredibly careful not to dishonor his father or his neurologist. He makes it very clear. They were good doctors giving him the absolute best medicine available at that time. The nuance of healing here is recognizing that it was a failure of the medical model, not a failure of the men. And that's a really huge, important distinction that took him years to fully process. This realization sparked a pivot that lasted decades. He actually formed a lifelong friendship with that alternative doctor, though he does mention a lingering regret about losing touch later on when the doctor opened a clinic over in Bangalore. But Dr. Kaplan's own life changed course entirely. When his MS symptoms got too severe for him to safely practice dentistry, he didn't give up. He pivoted. He became a chiropractor. He dove into studying nutrition, pain management, and that deep, intricate connection between the nervous system, stress, and true healing. Section 5. Still standing today. So what do you do with 4.5 decades of hard-won knowledge? You share it. And that is exactly why he created the Still Standing newsletter. Dr. Kaplan is 69 years old now. He has been navigating MS for 45 years. His whole mission today is to share unfiltered truths about living a full, vibrant life inside a disease that definitely didn't ask permission to show up. He's sharing genuine wellness insights, and he's super clear that he only recommends products or resources he personally believes in. He wants to talk directly to people who are exactly where he used to be. He actually breaks down his message to his readers into 3 distinct groups. First, if you're watching this explainer right now and you are newly diagnosed and frankly terrified, Dr. Kaplan's message to you is so warm and direct. He says, 45 years in, I'm still here. That is such a powerful beacon of hope from someone who has stood on the exact same ground you're standing on right now. Next, he speaks to the long-term MS warriors out there. If you've been battling this for years and you feel incredibly frustrated or just totally let down by conventional treatments, his validation is loud and clear. You're not wrong and you're not alone. He completely sees that frustration because he lived it firsthand on that fence. And finally, we can't forget the support systems. To the caregivers, the friends, the family members who might feel helpless but desperately want to support their loved ones, his reassurance is just beautiful. He tells them, showing up is enough, and understanding more will help you show up better. It's such practical, grounding encouragement for the people standing right beside the patients. Which brings us to the end of today's explainer. And I want to leave you with a really powerful question from Dr. Kaplan himself. Where are you in your MS journey, and what's the one thing you wish someone had told you earlier? He actually asks his newsletter readers to reply directly to him with their answers, because he reads every single response. It's an amazing invitation to join the Still Standing community. So take a moment to really think about that question. Reflect on the incredible journey we just explored today. Thank you guys so much for learning with me, and I absolutely cannot wait to dive into our next topic together.